And now, O Yahweh our Elohim, who brought your people out of the land of Egypt. Look how Daniel once again is making reference to something that is very important. In his case, is because he's in Babylon, well, now conquered by the Medes and the Persians, and actually Cyrus of the Persians will allow Israel to go back to Yehudah, to Israel. So Cyrus will fulfill what Daniel is praying for in this case. So Cyrus is as an example of Moshe, because Daniel just mentioned Moshe, is now is mentioning the Exodus, as when they were taken from Egypt to the land. Now they will be taken from Babylon to the land. And now in our times we're taken from all the nations of the world to the land through the two witnesses, as Moshe and Aharon, in the second Exodus, during the second manifestation. And now, O Yahweh our sovereign, our Elohim, who brought your people out of the land of Egypt with a mighty hand. With a mighty hand. Look how it doesn't mention the arm, even though the arm is mentioned all over the place when it comes to the Exodus also. The arm and the hand, first and last. In this case, he's mentioning the hand. Just let me make sure. Yeah, by your hand, your strong hand, mighty hand, which represents the last, because the arm is the first, the hand is the last. So it confirms that he's talking about the end times for the second Exodus. And now, O Yahweh our Elohim, who brought your people out of the land of Egypt with a mighty hand, and made yourself a name. Once again, the importance of the name, how Yahushua came and taught his name, the name of Yahweh, as we see in John 17. And he himself in that same chapter said that he would have to come again and teach the name, reveal the name, as he was prophesied also in Deuteronomy 33, when Moshe asks Yahweh to show him his honor, his power, his esteem. So, with a mighty hand, and made yourself a name, as it is this day. We have sinned, and we have done wickedly. We have sinned, we have done wickedly. Verse 16, O sovereign, according to all your righteousness, Adonai, according to all your righteousness, I pray, let your anger and your fury be turned away from your city, Yerushalem. I find it interesting that last Shabbat, since, well, you guys know we do the Spanish and English studies. In Spanish, we have 3 studies a week. In English, just 1. So we do read a lot more in Spanish. So just the last week, we read on Shabbat, well, actually, on Thursday, I think it was on Thursday, that Donald Trump signed a covenant, or an agreement with the Emirates Muslim, part of the Muslim people of the Emirates. He made a covenant which will lead to other things which many people are expecting in Christianity, mainly because of the way they interpret this chapter. I do think that it is key, and something will come out of it, and it's interesting. It's part of the end, no doubt, for all the reasons. And I found it very interesting that Trump called it the Abraham covenant. And interestingly enough, and I love it how the Almighty makes those connections, that same Shabbat we had already set out way before we knew anything about what Trump was doing. We were going to read Abraham's covenant, which was amazing how Yahweh gave us that connection. And then we read in Isaiah, and there was another connection with the destruction of Jerusalem, for instance. And it's interesting here reading this also, because it's talking about the destruction of Jerusalem. And not only that, this whole chapter has to do with the end times and the 70 weeks of Daniel, specifically the last week of Daniel, the last 7 years. So I find it interesting that Yahweh gave us the story of the Thursday, the study of Shabbat, the study of on Monday, and the study tonight. And all of them are connected, and all of them are in a way being fulfilled in our reality. through that covenant that Trump made and other things that are coming. So I find it quite significant that we are reading this chapter tonight after having read Abraham's covenant on Shabbat. Verse 16, O Adonai, according to all your righteousness, I pray, let your anger and your fury be turned away from your city, Jerusalem, your set apart mountain, because for our sins and for the iniquities of our fathers, Jerusalem and your people are a reproach to all those around us. As in the few and the many, Jerusalem and your people. Jerusalem is a representation of the New Jerusalem, and the New Jerusalem is the place where the chosen few will reign over all reality. Then it says, verse 17, Now therefore, Eloheinu, hear the prayer of your servant and his supplications, and for Yahweh's sake. So now therefore, O our Elohim, hear the prayer of your servant and his supplications, and for Yahweh's sake, for Adonai's sake, cause your face to shine on your set apart place, which is desolate. Cause your face to shine on your set apart place, which is desolate, the place of his temple. In that time that Daniel was speaking, Babylon had destroyed the temple. So now they were expecting Cyrus to give the order to build the temple again. That second temple will be the one that was built when Yahushua appeared, and the one that was destroyed in the year 70. So now we are as in the time of Daniel, scattered among the nations which are under the rule of the spirit of Babylon, the spirit of confusion, and the temple is destroyed. And many people are expecting the temple to be built as a sign, well, the Jewish people as a sign that Mashiach is in the world, and the Christian people as a sign that the Antichrist is in the world. Both, in a way, are actually wrong. But since they are both expecting it, I expect it to happen for them to be fooled through it. Pretty much the point is that if some people are expecting certain prophecies, somebody will appear and fulfill those prophecies on purpose to fool them into following him, and that him would be the beast, the world leader. Cause your face to shine on your set apart place, which is desolate, as it is right now. So the whole thing that we are reading here, the situation in which Daniel was in Babylon when the Medes entered and took over, is pretty much as we are right now in this world, when the reality, well, when the structure of the world is being destroyed through the coronavirus and other things to bring about the new world order, a new empire. But Yahweh will use that as the opportunity to establish his kingdom through the two witnesses, one of which is like Daniel.